Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at a devblog for a new premium that is coming into the game in the next major update, the T-80U-E1. Now, we haven't really been able to have a good look at this one on the dev server because it's been a bit bugged, but just understand if you like the T-80U, you will enjoy the T-80U-E1 too. This vehicle is a pre-order vehicle, so if you want to pick it up, make sure to use my link in the description so you can get yourself a discount, support the channel, and also get yourself a decal. This is a further upgrade of the standard T-80BV platform and will probably sit itself around 11.3, just like a lot of the other premiums that have come in for ground recently. It's going to be at rank 7, so you can efficiently grind all of the tech tree, and also you can get very similar experiences compared to a lot of the other vehicles. Let's get into the history of this vehicle. The Object 219 AS1 project appeared due to the needs to improve the T-80BV tanks. It involved improving the tank's chassis to the level of the T-80U modification, as well as using the T-80U-D modification's fighting compartment with an improved sighting system, a Belarusian-made thermal imaging sight, and a French tails camera. The Object 219 AS1 successfully passed tests in 2003 and received the name T-80U-E1. The overhaul of early variants of the T-80 to the T-80U-E1 standard was carried out by Omsk Transport Engineering Plant. So this vehicle is kind of confusing what it is. You basically take a T-80BV, which is a vehicle that we have in the game, and then you upgrade it to a T-80U standard, which is basically what we have in the game too. The way that you do this is you give it access to the Gen 2 thermal imaging sight, the Plisa, and also a French thermal camera as well. So it will have Gen 2 thermals that you'll be able to see. They also gave it access to 3BM46, the APF-SDS, but I'm not sure that it's going to get 3BM60, which would be kind of surprising because the 3BM60 is kind of the standard round at that BR, but I suppose they're trying to make it not 11.7 and instead keep it 11.3. It also has access to Contact 5 instead of Contact 1, so therefore it can stop kinetic munitions with the Contact 5 and not just standard chemical stuff, and it does have the gas turbine engine, which is very good for the Soviets, and also means it does have a reverse gear. It's not really a surprise that pretty much all of the premiums for the Soviets recently have been the T-80 series, the UD, and then of course the UE1 and the 2S38. The T-80 is easily the best out of the T-90 and T-72 series as well. It has the best reload, it has the best mobility, and overall it has the best profile. The T-90M, which they added more recently, is a little bit more tanky than the T-80 series, but it's a lot slower with a worse reload, and also at the same time it's one of those which still has the same weak spots as everybody else. And as many people will tell you who play high tier, mobility is king, and being able to move around quicker is the way to do it, and the T-80 gives you that. So to see a premium in the form of the T-80U-E1, which is going to give you all those factors and basically give you a vehicle you can take into high tiers, that's going to be the way to go. The pre-order bonuses on this vehicle as well, you have the Honor and Glory title, also you have the Flying Tank decal, which is kind of cool. The reason why it's getting this Flying Tank decal they actually note in the devblog, which is the T-80U-E1, like some other later modifications of the T-80, received the nickname Flying Tank in the press due to its spectacular ski jumps during displays and tank shows. Yeah, they'd just chuck it around places and obviously just send it over jumps, which was quite fun. So yeah, you could kind of see that going on. The vehicle itself will be good. I've played the T-80B, I played the T-80U, I played a lot of T-80s, and none of them have let me down. They've all been fantastic vehicles. They have a small profile, they have pretty decent punchy guns, they have a good reload rate, and they don't really let you down in any way, and that's why they're super fun to play. And hopefully, if you decide to pick this one up, it'll be good for you too. It's one of those vehicles that can solo carry a game, just like the other premiums at 11.3, and generally it will do very well for you. If you're looking for a high-tier experience, this obviously will give it to you. I think in general, though, it's better to grind through the tech tree and use this as an addition to the tech tree instead of just using this by itself, but I'm sure many people will. There's been a big trend of these 11.3 premiums and the M1A1 clickbait, Leopard 2A4 M-CAN, of course, which is coming in, and now the T-80U-E1, plus stuff like the Challenger 2 OES, which when you compare that to these three vehicles, is completely out of place, and is just definitely in a bit of a rough spot. But yeah, it's not a surprise with the new Rank 8 coming in that we were going to get some new premiums, just like how Aviation is getting new premiums. They changed their standards as well when it came to premiums. Instead of having it where you have to wait, or, you know, they can only be like Rank 7 premiums nowadays, they can actually be Rank 8s with stuff like the F-20 and also the MiG-21 Bison, and I'm sure that'll happen with ground as well. The main thing that I want to see with vehicles like this being added is a bit of BR decompression. When we have a look at the top tier of the game, especially in ground, now that they've added in the variable BRs based on game mode, this is now an opportunity to be able to unsquash that little area of it. And maybe it'll give these premiums a little bit of breathing space against a lot of the vehicles that are around. With stuff like the T-80, you have a great platform, the best Soviet platform out of the three to be useful with. But also at the same time, being at 11.3, you're just going to face 11.7s, which are better than you. They're designed better than you, and they will be better than you. That's why these premiums can be a double-edged sword. Like, you are able to grind really well with them, which is fantastic, but also at the same time, it sets you up to go against just better vehicles. Imagine if you are playing this, you'll just face Leopard 2A7s all day, and you'll even face stuff like T-80 BVMs, which are just better versions than you. Same with some other vehicles too. So it just kind of sucks that that's the case of these high-tier premiums now. It wasn't always the case that that was there, by the way, especially when you used to be kind of like a BR below the high rank, or the top rank, I should say. It would give you a little bit of breathing space away from just better vehicles than you, but now that's not the case. Instead, you just have to suffer, but if you suffer enough, you grind enough, and hopefully doesn't create a lot of a negative headspace, and then you can go forward with. There's still a lot of other premiums for the Soviets, which are really good though. You know, the UD, and then of course the 2S-38 if you're looking at high tiers. But with the T-80U-E1, you have another vehicle coming in, which is also very powerful. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.